Kiss Army, I feel so good, I feel so alive in 2025. Hello everyone and welcome to the Kiss Army Things podcast. This is episode 125, the very first episode of 2025. I really appreciate you guys being here today. We are going to be taking a look at all things current Kiss, what's happening in the current Kiss world as far as the members go, what we can expect in 2025, what's on the horizon, and maybe what we want to see in this year, this 2025 new year. So thank you guys so much for joining us. I really appreciate you being here. Hope you guys had a wonderful new year. I'm glad it is an honor to be sitting around this table talking about the hottest band in the world. How are you feeling, Daphne, on this new year?
I'm great. Happy to be back in the new year. I feel like it's been a minute because we've had a couple other episodes and your vinyl tag and everything last week. Vinyl tag. So I feel like it's been forever since we filmed.
Yes, I know, and we've also been snowed in for a few days at this point. So what better way to spend the snow days than sitting around the table talking about Kiss? So hopefully you guys are staying safe, staying warm, if you guys were affected by the snow. And yeah, so first episode, which means I'm having the first money bag of the new year.
That's right.
I like how tea has become your thing, especially in the winter time.
Especially in the winter, I'm sorry. Maybe when it gets warm here again, I'll switch back to money bag. But it's just been so cold, and like he said, we have been snowed in. We just got a fresh layer of snow in the last few hours.
It's probably still snowing right now, maybe.
So we're going to be stuck here again for another couple days, which I am fine with. We've been loving it.
Absolutely, and if you want to keep drinking tea, that's fine, because more money bag for me.
Exactly.
And you know me, I have expensive taste.
And at least I'm still representing in some way with my...
I love that.
With my first album.
I think that is so awesome. And hopefully you guys are enjoying yourselves as well, enjoying the new year. Like I said, we're just going to be talking about all kinds of new Kiss news and Kiss band member updates and things like that. So before we get to that, as you all know, we have to talk about Kiss's music. We have to talk about the band, the music. And so, Daphne, I'm going to kick it over to you so that you can tell us about your Kiss spotlight, although I think I might know what it is.
I think you do know. I think it was spoiled for you earlier.
I'm 100% sure that I know what it is.
Yeah, so my first Kiss spotlight of 2025 is Unmasked. I love that album, and I think maybe when you were listening to Kiss on Shuffle recently, I can't even remember what song it was, or maybe somebody in a YouTube video was talking about Unmasked.
Was it Rick talking about glitter and...
Maybe. Something just made me think, I want to listen to Unmasked really bad. And so I've been jamming it the last couple days.
Glitter and bubblegum, that's what Rick was talking about.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Which is the vibe. And that's, honestly, the best way I can describe Unmasked is it's a vibe.
It really is a vibe.
It is a vibe. It's so much fun.
And one thing that we were also really noticing was, Naked City, we all know is a great song.
It's one of my favorites on the album.
But we just kept listening to Naked City, and just that bass line that Gene delivers is so nice. It is so tasty.
Yeah, his bass, his voice on that song, the lyrics of that song, that is one of my favorites on the whole album.
Yeah, that is a underrated Kiss track for sure. And I'm glad that you brought this up because, it's a fun album. Definitely a vibe.
Yes, so good.
It's hard not to dance to it.
It really is. Is this, what version is this?
This is the regular version.
Is it in a different order?
Yeah. No, the track listing is, but I think the album is in regular order.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think Is That You is number 1, and then Shandy's number 2. I think Naked City is track 4.
Why is it out of order?
Sometimes on Kiss album covers, there were certain albums that had the track listing out of order. Mm-hmm. I think Dynasty might have been out of order. I know Love Gun was definitely out of order.
Okay.
The track listing was. Yeah. Sometimes the back cover doesn't always reflect the actual track listing.
Interesting, okay.
We normally think that it does today, and I'm wondering if maybe at the last minute there were changes. Yeah. Who knows? Or maybe it was a certain design choice. Who really knows? But yeah, so... Your spotlight is
Unmasked. We were actually, the reason he already knew is because I asked if we could listen to it while we were setting up everything.
Yes.
And we got through the whole first side. It was great.
Can you guess my Kiss spotlight? I'm curious, because if I was able to determine yours, you should be able to determine what record was on there before.
Oh, was it Alive?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Kiss Alive. Yeah, Kiss Alive is my spotlight. That's
nice.
The first record I've been listening to this new year. I find myself sometimes standing in front of my turntable, in front of my records, just like, okay, what am I going to listen to now?
What's speaking to me right now?
Sometimes it's just immediate. You go to something Sometimes you already know in advance, and you just can't wait to get home to listen to it.
Right.
Sometimes you just don't know, and you're just standing there.
Sometimes, like, I want to listen to something, but I just don't know what.
Yeah, but sometimes you need it to jump out at you.
Yeah.
And so I'm just standing there, all of a sudden Alive just jumps out, hits me in the face, falls on the turntable, and the needle drops. And sometimes that's how it happens.
History.
The rest is history. That's just how it happens. No, I wanted to listen to Kiss Alive. Yeah, again, there was no real reason. But then, of course, as I'm listening to it, I'm like, man, this is going to hit 50 years this year in 2025. Wow. I think September is when this will Kiss Alive turns 50, and so we're in this, again, Kiss 50, the Kiss 50 phase, as I guess we'll call it. But it's really cool. And I was listening to Kiss Alive, and I was just like thinking, man, how raw this record is. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't have quite the attachment to Kiss Alive like most Kiss fans do, because I wasn't around back then.
Right.
And I don't expect a lot of Kiss fans to have the same attachment to like Kiss Alive 4 or Rocks Vegas as I do. That's fine. It's all about, where you came in and what you gravitate towards.
Right.
But obviously, it's not lost on me what this album is, what this album meant to the band, to history, and to rock and roll. And so it still, I think, comes through perfectly clear 50 years later. I mean, Watching You, Parasite, Got to Choose, all those songs. Come On and Love Me. I love Come On and Love Me on the record.
Yeah.
But Come On and Love Me on Kiss Alive is obviously just a step above. And all those songs were like that. Hotter Than Hell, Cold Gin. I mean, we can keep going until they're all named. But yeah, so Kiss Alive is where I've been. And I'm not really sure where I'm going to go to next, but it's just cool to think that, such a big monumentous record is going to be hitting 50 years, and that's kind of what kicked off my new year.
Absolutely.
As far as listening to Kiss goes. So
good way to start the year.
Absolutely. And of course, the Kiss vinyl tag did provide some good listening too, but you guys can always check out those videos and everybody else's because of that vinyl tag.
And make your own if you want to.
Absolutely. Please join along. This is all all we're doing here is just having fun talking about Kiss. It's funny how many different ways we can have fun talking about Kiss.
Yeah.
Talk about their music. We can talk about the concerts. Of course, like the albums. We can talk about concerts. We can talk about expos. We can talk about collections. We can talk about memories and anything, basically.
Yeah.
It's really cool. But anyway, like I said, today's episode is just going to be contained into talking about Kiss news. We have been, in the last several episodes, we did... of course, our Kissmas episodes, we got real hot on the Elder there for a minute. And
a good minute.
We shut everything out and just stayed in 81 talking about the Elder, which was fantastic. And then we did a whole 2024 recap, 2 episodes of that, actually. And so now we're back into the present day. We're talking about 2025. And so we're going to be talking about some of the things that's been happening in the media, some of the things that's been getting talked about, and some of the things that we might see in 2025. And the first person I'm going to start out with talking about is Ace.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure Ace is the one that has the most coming up the soonest. I mean, Ace has already had dates scheduled to perform all kinds of shows. And I think he'll be kicking off in January 30th.
Oh, wow. Okay, pretty soon.
So, and he's been touring. I mean, we saw him last January, a year ago, when he was about to release 10,000 Volts. And it's just been pretty much nonstop from there. It feels like Ace is always... performing, always playing. That's going to continue into 2025. Like I said, that first show is January 30th. That's in New Hampshire. There's a January 31st show in Connecticut.
Okay.
And a February 1st show in Maine. That's 3 days in a row.
Wow.
3 days in a row, 3 shows in a row up in the northeastern United States, up in New England. So Ace is hitting the road quick.
Dang, 3 days in a row is like...
Yeah, it's a lot. But he's got time to rest up right now. I mean, like I said, he's got time to rest up now.
It's not a lot of time to rest up in between, though. Hopefully he takes it easy.
Yeah, well, I mean, these guys, we're going to get to Gene. Gene's the same way. These guys tour. I mean, that's what you got to do. It's in your blood. It's in your system. You want to be on stage. You want to get that paycheck. You got to perform. So, but it's just, I still think it's great to see Ace, still performing so actively.
Absolutely.
He is going to be coming around here again in a couple months, but I'm not going to be able to see that show, which is unfortunate, but I'm still glad we did get to see him when we did last year.
Definitely.
And I'll have a list up. I'll make a graphic or something of all the dates that Ace has coming up so far. So if you guys want to check them out, you guys can. But that's not the biggest news I have about Ace. That's just, like I said, what's happening sort of soon. The bigger news that I have is that he just confirmed that he's recording Origins Volume 3.
Wow.
Which is really cool.
Okay.
Because again, I feel like he just released 10,000 Volts.
Definitely.
And then before that, I mean, he already has 2 other volumes of Origins albums, and so he's already confirmed that he's begun recording.
Put out music pretty quick.
Ace is pretty consistent. Yeah. I mean, he has a contract.
Yeah.
He has a record contract, and so he's, I mean, he's fulfilling it. So I'm excited to hear what he has. I mean, there's no other news other than pretty much that he's just talking about how he's officially recording Origins Volume 3, so we're still in the kind of speculation phase, but it's still cool to know that there is going to be another Ace album. As a matter of fact, I think he said that he was going to try and have it most likely released by the end of this year.
I was wondering if it'd be like later this year or early next year.
I was going to say maybe at the latest, in 1 year's time, we could be doing another Ace.
That's exciting.
Ace review album.
Cool.
But yeah, so he's just now started recording. I have no idea what he could be recording as far as songs goes. I mean, Ace is, besides being the spaceman in Kiss, his solo work, I think, is defined by his amazing covers.
Mm-hmm.
And so while his originals are always great, everybody's always wondering what's the song he's going to cover, what's the big hit that he's going to, put his Ace spin on. And so we have so far 2 volumes, 2 complete collections of records, of covers that he's done with special guests. Yeah. That's the thing, is that I feel like the whole Kiss world went absolutely nuts when Paul joined Ace on Fire and Water.
Oh, so good.
And, Ace did the lead guitar, his band played, Paul provided vocals. I think Paul also produced the track. They did a music video together. It was the first time they worked together, recorded together since Psycho Circus.
Wow.
It was incredible. And so it's like they still have those kinds of opportunities. And I know I'm thinking big and I'm wishing big, but
it's possible.
I would love to see Gene on
That's
Origins.
what I was going to say. I feel like that I can see happening.
I would love for Paul to somehow be involved. If he did it once, he could do it again. I would love for Peter to somehow get involved. I would love to see all 4 original members of Kiss somehow involved on this Origins album. Even if Peter isn't playing drums, he's just doing vocals.
Yeah.
Even if he's just doing background vocals and he's playing a bongo. I don't care. Like, put Peter Criss on the album.
Yeah.
Put Gene and Paul on the album. I mean, even if it's not
don't
the
get your hopes
same
up
song.
For all 4.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, though, like, it is possible. I'm not saying
I think it's plausible.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm not saying it could happen. I'm just saying it would be freaking wild if they were somehow able to. Because we're always talking about how, like, oh, there should have been, something at the last show. The last show is live happening. You can't. There's no do-overs. There's no rewinds. There's nothing. At least in the studio, you can control things better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you're doing things live, you're never going to meet anybody's expectations. But when things are controlled like that, like again, Fire and Water, nobody knew about that until it happened. Unless you were there on set or you were there in the studio, you weren't privy to that knowledge. And so that was so cool as a fan to sit there and just watch that. And so it's like, maybe I'm just wanting to repeat that magic, but I think it'd be cool. Again, there's nothing that's going to happen.
I think it's plausible to assume that I wouldn't, definitely not all 4, but I would say at least one member might have a feature. Because, I mean, he's a smart businessman. He knows how much of, like, an exciting thing that would be for fans and how much attention that would get. So I'd say he would try and do it, at least with somebody, at least with Gene or Peter.
Yeah, I mean, Paul's already been on Fire and Water, and then Gene was on a couple of tracks on the Spaceman album, playing bass and also co-writing Your Wish Is My Command. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's already happened in some capacity. But
I can see it.
No, I'm definitely speculating. I'm definitely reaching. I got my head in the clouds right now because we're just speculating. But as far as, let's go back down to earth a little bit. Let's bring it back. Yeah. Well, what do we know? Ace is going to record Origins Volume 3, he actually already officially has begun recording. Most likely could be released by the end of 2025. Steve Brown is going to work with him again on this album. Okay. I thought that they had a great relationship, a great working...
Definitely.
A great thing going on 10,000 Volts. I thought that what Steve brought to the table was great. Ace, I think, historically has been great at what he does and is always better when he has great support behind him or with him, and Steve provided that. Did they overcorrect in some areas? Perhaps. With the production, I know Steve was flexing his muscles a little bit, his production muscles. So maybe Origins will be a little bit more controlled, a little bit more raw, rock and roll.
More stripped back. I hope so.
But I like the partnership. I like the records. I'm sure they're going to no doubt have a great pairing of songs or great track list of songs. But yeah, that's just some really cool, exciting news to start off with. Is Ace recording a new album? So I think he has 2 more albums left on his record deal with, I think it's called Monarch Music. It's spelled MNRK because they're fancy like that. Monarch.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like a license plate spelling of Monarch, but it's MNRK.
Interesting.
But yeah, so 2 more records on the contract. I'm not sure if that includes Origins or not.
I don't think so. Why not?
I don't know. It's either 2 more after this Origins album.
Oh, okay.
Or this Origins and one other one.
Right.
I don't know the specifics, but I'm curious to see what's going to happen. This will be for another future forecast episode in a different year, but makes me wonder, if he'll get a contract renewed or if these will be some of the last albums we're going to see from Ace. Again, you never know. They could choose to renew it. They could choose not to. They could go to a different record label.
I was going to say he could choose to switch.
And they could hire, or they could take him on or not. Who knows? So it's like, I don't know. We're going to get all we can take right now and just enjoy the Ace.
Yeah.
I know, I always make that reference. I don't mean to, but it's their fault for writing the song.
Right.
No, it's fine. Anyway, so that's just some cool news to start out with. I'm going to take a drink before getting to the next thing, because my goodness. Man, it never gets old. That's so good. It's going to be a jam-packed episode today. We have a lot to get to today. That was the Ace news. And surprising no one, Gene is also going to be extremely active.
Of course.
In 2025. That was one thing we actually did not mention in our 2024 recap. We were talking about so many things because, of course, there's always so much to talk about that. Yeah, we forgot to mention that Gene came in hot in 2024 with his solo dates. And he put together a great band and was performing all over in Europe and in South America. There were some shows. And so finally in 2025, we're going to be seeing a lot of U.S. dates coming up. I think, what's the earliest one? I think the earliest one at this point is in April at some point. April 5th in Roanhart, California.
Okay.
And he's constantly adding dates. I think he just added like
literally just a day or two ago. I saw him add more.
Yeah, exactly. I had to go back and make sure I knew I kept up to date because it was he kept adding dates and I'm always seeing new dates. So who knows? Maybe by the time this goes up, there'll be even more dates.
Yeah.
Either way, check in with Gene's website, Gene's Facebook, whatever. We did, and we're going to be seeing 2 shows.
That's right.
We're going to be seeing
in the same month.
In the same month, yeah. One at the beginning of May in Louisville, and then at the end in Brown County.
Yep.
Hi, I'm thrilled.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. I mean, excitement doesn't even cover it. I mean, obviously, we're living in an era with not a touring Kiss, which is my favorite band, but we still have members touring. I mean, there's 2 original members of Kiss touring in 2025.
Yeah.
Very actively.
That's huge.
And they're not like spotty shows, one-off shows. They are touring.
It's like a full tour schedule.
You could follow them around, if you wanted to. And they're not even like full Kiss ticket prices because it's not Kiss, obviously. Right. So you can, afford to see multiple shows like we are.
Right.
Seeing 2 shows in 1 month. So somehow missed Gene on the last round in 2017. He played in Anderson. Which is random.
That is random.
It just goes to show the kind of random places he's going. I mean, he's willing to play anywhere. I think Gene just loves to perform.
Definitely.
I don't think Gene wants to slow down. I think he just wants to be on stage.
I think he was already
performing.
I think he was already thinking about this and thinking about these tour dates before Kiss even ended. He was like,
so.
Okay, I gotta do something after this.
And I think he was very excited too.
Yeah.
I think that, as much as he loved being the Demon, as much as he loves Kiss, I think he's probably having more fun
I'm sure he
on
is.
These shows
yeah.
than he did in Kiss, where this is actually his band.
Yes, and he can be more relaxed and doesn't have to have the whole get-up.
Oh, no.
And can have a little bit more fun with it, more freedom, I feel like.
It's been really interesting hearing Gene talk about his new business strategy. I don't know if you've heard about this or not.
I've heard you talk about it.
Yeah, because the way he's doing things now, where he basically doesn't tour with anything. He doesn't tour with any instruments. Mm-hmm. They tour with nothing. They tour. He says, I tour with a guitar pick, and that's it. He shows up and has the promoters pay for everything. They pay for all the instruments and get them locally, and they set it up. Gene just shows up to the city and plays.
They just rent them locally?
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay.
But it's on the promoter's paycheck.
How does any promoter agree to that?
Simmons, man. He says, I'll come play and I'll fill it, guaranteed, but you're going to bring the instruments, you're going to provide everything. You can get the cheapest instruments you can and you can find. It doesn't matter. They're going to sound great when we get up there and play them.
Right.
So he's just literally enjoying traveling with no instruments, no gear, nothing.
It does sound a lot less stressful.
he allegedly, he said that he allegedly makes more money doing his Gene Simmons solo shows than he ever did in shows in Kiss.
I am not surprised by that.
And it wouldn't surprise me if
I'm not surprised.
If Take Home is more than the Kiss shows, because with Kiss he was like, it's $50,000 just for pyro alone.
Well, I was gonna say there's so much overhead involved with a show of that size. Just like staffing alone, like people, like the construction crew to put the stage together, the truck drivers to drive it all around.
The
you know
fuel,
what I mean?
the jets,
like,
yeah.
Yes, there's so much involved with that. Whereas
the people that actually, put it together.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think he's just enjoying going out there with his guys and just playing music and performing without having all this excess, which is so, like, not like anti-Kiss, but it's the opposite of Kiss,
Yes,
which
yeah.
I think, again, for him is probably fresh and
Yeah.
good. So, he seems to be relaxed, he seems to be confident and comfortable, and I like seeing that. He sounds great, he looks great. I think he's probably the most fit and in the best shape out of all the original four when it comes to being on stage, performing. Nothing about Gene's abilities have diminished at all.
Yeah.
His bass playing, his singing, his mobility, everything. Maybe but this has been the way it always has been. His ability to memorize lyrics has always been questionable. But again, that goes
That's
back.
not new, though.
That goes back to
That's got nothing to do with age.
1975. Yeah, exactly. Singing. Gosh, there was one clip on Kissology. I think it was like in '75 when they were playing "Let Me Go Rock and Roll," and he started singing "Rock and Roll All Night."
Oh my gosh.
And it's like he was like, "You
Gene.
show us everything you got."
What?
Oh man, it was so funny. It was funny. I was like, am I really saying this? I had to rewind it.
That is great.
Anyway. So yeah, Gene performing a lot of shows. I think just between April and May, it's like 16 shows or something like that in like 24 days.
Wow.
So he's going to be performing a lot. So get your tickets. Go see Gene if you're excited about that sort of thing.
Definitely.
I know I am. We are. Cannot wait. But again, that's not the only Gene Simmons news I have. That's just what's happening sooner. Gene possibly, and we gotta take everything he says with a grain of salt, but Gene possibly teased a covers album himself.
Now that would be cool.
Now, how cool would that be? So,
No offense, Ace, but I would be way more excited about that.
well, how many Gene solo albums do we have? 2, right?
Exactly.
Out of the 50 years that
Right.
Kiss has been, recording music, 51, I guess, almost. But yeah, no, Gene. We know that he did Stormy Weather.
Yes,
right?
for that movie, that Reagan movie.
For the Reagan movie,
Yep.
exactly, yes. And we saw some behind the scenes of that. It was really, really cool. Apparently, a quote-unquote music video was released
Okay.
for Stormy Weather,
Okay.
which was kind of cool, which showed some scenes of the movie put together with Gene actually recording in the studio and just some candid footage of Gene in the studio.
I haven't seen that.
It's still kind of new.
Okay.
Again, this is like pretty recent.
Because I remember when the movie came out, we were hoping we'd be able to find the full track somewhere. We never even were able to find the track, just that little clip of him recording it.
Just a little clip,
Yeah.
exactly. And so that same clip, I think it's that same clip
It's from that
compiled
video.
with
Okay.
others. That might have been a leaked clip. Or,
Yeah.
No.
No,
That was official.
It was promo, but it was
just,
mixed in.
It was just mixed in, yeah. So they took that from the full thing.
Okay.
So the full thing was released. It's got scenes from the movie, scenes with Gene. It's really, really cool. And so I guess right around the time that officially came out, Gene did an interview where he was talking about how he wanted to do a covers album himself. And again, he didn't confirm anything, so don't get...
Right, it's not like I am
whatever.
recording this, but I want to do this.
But yes, I guess he said in an interview with Newsweek that at some point he sat with Rick Rubin.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I guess Rick Rubin worked on something called the Johnny Cash American Series,
Okay.
which was monumental at the time for what it was. And so Gene wants to, I guess, put something like that together, but with Gene's spin on it, with Rick Rubin sort of producing that. Now, again, who
Dude.
knows how long ago those conversations were? Who knows how long they were in general? Who knows how serious they were? But the fact that that's on Gene's mind is really, really cool because I wish Gene would record and release more music. What I got from that Kiss album I made last year, Hand of Fate, with Gene in that song with Bruce on BK3.
That's what I hoped you were going to say. That was so
oh my gosh,
good.
what was that called? Because it's funny how I can't remember now, but even though it's right here, I'll just grab it. I think it should be right here somewhere. It's crazy how I should know, but Ain't Gonna Die.
Ain't Gonna Die.
Ain't Gonna Die. See, Ain't Gonna Die, and then his 2 demos from Sonic Boom and Monster that didn't make it, which was Hand of Fate. And we rocked it all night. Yeah, those were really good.
They were.
And obviously hearing Gene sing Stormy Weather, which was a lot different than what we're used to, but seeing Gene perform on stage, it's like Gene has that music in him.
Yeah.
And I wish we would get more recorded music.
Agreed.
From him.
And a covers album could be so cool because even though, like you said, Stormy Weather might not be what we're used to. At the same time, it kind of is, because...
Well, yeah, he's gone off the walls.
Gene's first,
Sure.
his original solo album, has the weirdest stuff on it. It
When
has
You Wish
When
Upon
You
a
Wish Upon a Star, and it is not a rock and roll version of When You Wish Upon a Star.
It is an almost
It
one-to-one.
is faithful to the original.
Yeah.
If not even more, like...
Somehow more faithful.
Yes.
It's more grandiose.
It's more, like... I don't even know the
Yeah,
words to
it's
describe
more
it.
Disney than the Disney one.
Yes, exactly.
But it's Gene.
So I can see him doing a cover album, and I don't think it would necessarily be all rock and roll. I think it would be a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, it'd be like his original solo album.
Yeah, well, because we know how much of an influence other types of music have on him. It's never just been rock and roll.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
But I feel like it'd be maybe more cohesive and cool.
I would like to see some Gene.
Yeah.
I would prefer to hear, obviously, originals
I
music.
understand,
But the odds of getting an original Gene Simmons solo album in 2025 or even 2026 is about zero.
Yeah.
But the odds of getting a covers album that may sell a little bit more and that may get the attention of everybody a little bit more, those chances are a little bit higher, I think.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, because Gene, with his both solo albums, actually, they were star-studded. He had people from all genres and all different walks and, all these big names. Here's a unique opportunity for Gene to have every living member of Kiss on the album. Think about it. Even if you got Peter just singing background vocals playing bongos, you could have Peter Criss on the album, Paul Stanley. I mean, they work together all the time. Gene and Paul, Gene and Ace, they work together on Spaceman. It's happened. So Gene could get a cover album together and have.
I feel like that's more likely than them all being on Aces.
No, I know.
To be honest, because at least Gene is in good standing with everybody.
Well, Aces too. I feel.
I don't see. No offense, but after
Paul,
that stuff Paul said last year on Howard Stern,
I don't. Ace said it first.
I know, but like
Paul damn near finished it.
That situation.
That whole situation may have been.
And I know they've come back from stuff like that before.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
It's not out of the question, but at the same time, it feels too soon.
Yeah, well, Gene was able to get everybody together for the Vault Tour, which was incredible.
That's true, yeah.
Not together, excuse me, but he had every living member of Kiss.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody's always cool with Gene. Everybody's cool with Gene.
Well, Gene has a way... Yeah. I mean, even Peter was... It was like 30 seconds, but he still showed up.
Yeah.
He showed up, said hi, answered a couple questions, and then booked it. Didn't perform or anything, I don't think. And even though Paul's was kind of awkward, because Gene and Paul are always trying to like out-ego one another, it was still cool for them all to be out there. Yeah. Even, as awkward as it was, Vinnie Vincent, man, it was wild that happened. It's just
so cool that happened.
But, Gene, I think, is able to make things work a little bit better. I think Gene's able to appeal to everybody's senses.
Agreed.
Whereas, Paul's not going to wiggle for anybody.
No.
You're going to, maneuver for him.
Yes. Paul's not going to pander to anybody or go out of his... I don't mean this in a bad way.
Well, at the same time, Paul's very stuck up like that.
He can be,
Yes,
I don't think he's going to go out of his way to
No.
make certain people comfortable. You know what I mean? Especially... when there is a weird history.
We're definitely not going to see the original four members of Kiss on the next Soul Station album. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's out of the question.
For sure. But I do think, again, I don't know. Again, it's just me and my fantasies right now, which I usually don't do, but it's 2025. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with dreaming a little.
It would be awesome for Gene and Paul. I mean, gosh, Gene and Paul did Venus and Mars rock show together. You know what I mean? They could do another Beatles song together. I want to hear Gene and Paul on the same track again singing, man. That would be incredible.
I would love to hear them doing some like John and Paul harmonies.
See, here's how Gene could do it. And Gene, if you're listening, and I know you are. No, just kidding.
He watches every episode.
How crazy would it be? Because Gene could just... Paul, all you got to do is record vocals and send it in. Ace, all you got to do is record vocals, send it in. Have all four members of Kiss do a Beatles song.
Dude, don't even say that.
That would be full circle.
I can't even, wish that.
Could you imagine hearing the original before on the same track? Again, they would never get in the same room together and do it, but Gene, of all people, could orchestrate that to happen. And the Kiss Army would die. I mean,
I would die.
Of course, because it's two of your favorite bands.
I would die.
We would all collectively, just together, become deceased. You know what I mean? Yeah. It would be awesome.
Yes.
To have original four together. If I keep saying it, maybe it'll happen.
Yeah, well, and now that you've even mentioned the possibility of the Beatles, I really hope that if he does a cover album, there is whether there are Kiss members on it or not, I hope he does a Beatles
I would
song.
love that.
Or even one of the like a Paul McCartney song, something like that. Anything like that would be so cool.
Get the original four to sing, and then have Eric and Bruce and Tommy do drums and guitar.
Uh-huh.
That would be, and then
featuring actual Paul McCartney. I'm just kidding.
With Vinnie Vincent on like saxophone or something.
Yeah.
No,
Ringo
anyway.
and Peter are both.
Get everybody in the studio. No, I don't know. Anything is possible, but again, I think that it comes down to the words that you say. All Gene has to say is, guys, let's do a Beatles song. Let's just do our vocals. We don't gotta, we don't gotta like overdo it. We don't gotta.
It doesn't have to be a whole thing. We don't have to do a music video. Yeah. You don't even have to like.
Don't worry about it. You don't gotta show up. Just
you don't even have to see each other.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like that's how I'd do it. I don't know, but I think it'd be crazy.
That'd be amazing.
That would be so big. I think for rock and roll.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I mean, it wouldn't be as big as the Beatles do when they're Let It, or what was it that they did? The
Now and Then.
Now and Then.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Let It Be. Yeah, Now and Then. That was so cool.
It was amazing.
And I mean, I doubt we'll see something like that happen with Kiss, but to have a cover of a track featuring all four, it's like, come on.
That would be so cool.
Let me have it. That'd be so cool. Because we're post end of the road tour. We're post band politics.
Yeah.
It started with the music. It should end with the music.
Let's go back to
so,
it, yeah.
Again, that's just me being wild again. Let's come back down to earth again, Xander. I can talk about something that is definitely going to be happening in 2025.
Okay.
Because, again, Gene was just talking about it. There's nothing confirmed, but Gene was like, yeah, I've been toying with the idea, had some talks with Rick Rubin. I'm sure you did. Okay, fine. But Bruce has been talking about his autobiography.
Okay, I have seen him mention that,
So
yes.
he mentioned recently that he was going to be working on this in 2025. That does not mean we're going to be seeing it released.
Right. It just means he'll be writing it.
But that's going to be a focus of his in 2025.
That's exciting. That's very exciting.
Super exciting because I'm hoping that, yes, 2026 is the year that we will get a Bruce book. And I've said for years that the only books I'm interested in hearing at this point are Bruce, Eric, and Tommy's.
100%.
Because between those three guys, I mean, they have some of the most, not just like the most lengthy amount of history with the guys, but the most accurate.
Yes, and
because I trust them.
I feel like they would be the most objective and non-biased. Because they...
There's nothing to lose anymore.
Exactly. And because they're not original members, they don't have all of that complex history that influences, you know what I mean? Like they're not as emotional about the past.
Well, all four original guys said, I did this. It's all because of me. Like all four of them were the same in the book. There's no reason for Eric or Tommy to claim to be the founder of Kiss because there's no reason. We all know there's not. So it would just be pure. Here's what was going on.
Less
during
ego, more like actual fact of what they observed.
Stories.
And
I want to hear stories. I want to know what it was like. Putting on the Catman makeup for the first time, stepping out on stage, starting the meet and greet process, because like Kiss was one of the first bands to ever actually do full meet and greet packages like that, which of course the industry was all watching, and then nowadays it's all meet and greets. But like back in 2003, Kiss was one of the first bands doing that. I guess Peter Criss was on that tour, but Rock the Nation was definitely, they were doing that. So it's like, I want to hear about all of that stuff, the acoustic VIP stuff, recording Sonic Boom and Monster and putting all these stage shows together and then doing the expos. I want to know their true thoughts behind it. I want to know what happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, things we've never heard before. There's so much we've never heard.
Like, I mean, we talked about, we've heard Gina Paul talk about Kiss Unplugged. Peter
I was going to mention Unplugged.
For real, yeah. There's all these moments in Kiss that those guys have been a part of that, I guess in Bruce's, we're going to get a lot of Eric and Bruce because, Eric Singer was in the band with Bruce for the last little bit there.
I want some Eric Carr stories, too.
Well, there's going to be so much Eric Carr stories. And I want to hear some Mark St. John stories.
Yes, please.
I know they're not going to be the most, incredible, but, like, the guy is one of the few people who, like, worked closely with him.
Absolutely.
Who's still here to, like, talk about it. And, of course, Gina and Paul don't really care or probably even remember, because for them it's just business at a certain point. But, Bruce seems to be more... It's wrong to say this, but he acts more human and has more humanity than I think the other guys do.
He's more down to earth.
He's way more down to earth, way more grounded.
Yes.
And that
he's
comes
very
across.
grounded. He interacts directly with fans a lot of times. He's very active on his YouTube, on his social media, talking to people.
Yeah,
it's just real.
I love his videos where he talks about, like, it's the anniversary of Revenge or Asylum or whatever.
And he'll tell a little anecdote about it.
Yeah, here's the guitar that I played. Here's the costume. At one show, this happened. Eric said, da-da-da-da. It's like, golly, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Why aren't Gina and Paul doing that? But they're probably doing bigger things right now. They're probably doing business stuff with Pop House and, doing bigger picture things as opposed to just sitting in front of a camera on YouTube. But Bruce, wants to do that, and I think, he knows that the fans like that.
Yeah.
And he's even said, when it comes to this book, it's not going to be I think his words were, salacious slam book.
Right. It's
against
not like
Gene and Paul.
Yeah, you're not going to read it to get, like, the tea or the gossip or, like, who did what to who. It's like, tell me cool stories. Tell me, like, the fun things that happened.
I think, unfortunately, because rock and roll is, very drama-based.
Yeah,
there's
it's messy.
Lots of drama, lots of mess going on in rock and roll. And so, I think everybody, and fans are kind of to blame.
Mm-hmm.
Because, at this point, advertisers and authors know how to get a reaction out of buyers and out of consumers and readers based on what has been done prior, And so it's like, well, as soon as one, tell-all, dirt book goes big, then everybody's going to try and write one and market it that way. And so I feel like with rock and roll especially, and then with Kiss, I'm going to write my book and I'm going to tell my side of the story and I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to unload on everything, all the secrets you never heard, spill the beans. And it's like, who cares?
I'm not interested.
I'm not interested in any of that stuff because all you're doing is just trying to tarnish the image of someone who I like.
Right.
And tarnish the music that you helped make. And it's like, I do not care. One bit. And so I'm hoping to get I know we're going to get some really good stuff from Bruce's book.
100%.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'll definitely read that one.
Again, though, that is not the only Bruce Kulick news that we have. I don't know if this was in a post or in a comment, but Bruce on social media mentioned that he has a very special project planned for 2025. So the book we're not going to see until maybe 2026.
He's just working on that.
He's just working on that book, but it will come out. But 2025, he said that he has a special project that he's working on, and it has to do with Kiss Unplugged.
With Unplugged?
Didn't go any further than that. Now, Unplugged will have been recorded 30 years this year. 30 years ago. I guess the album was released in 96. But 95
is when the actual event happened.
Is when the event happened. And so, this being the 30th anniversary, I guess he's cooking up something. What is that? I don't know. I literally don't know. I'm pretty sure his words were just project. I have a project. And that can mean anything. That can mean a video. That could mean album music, live video. That could mean event. That could mean concert. Who knows what that means?
Yeah.
Because if it... Oh, man. Yeah, no, I'm not going to start going there because now I can get my wheels going. How cool would it be if there was like a concert with Eric and Bruce and maybe, Todd Kearns and some of their guys getting together performing all of Kiss Unplugged.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Or something. Maybe it's like a video tribute to Unplugged full of all the video and soundboard stuff. Again, it could be anything.
Yeah, that's really exciting though. I hadn't seen that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. Again, not really much.
But he made it sound like that's something that's happening this year, like in 2025?
Yes, and I'm sorry, it was a little tribute is what he said.
A little tribute.
He said he was going to give a little tribute.
Okay.
A project that was going to give a little tribute to Kiss Unplugged. So maybe it is more musical. Again, it could be anything. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think it's cool, worth mentioning because, again, it's just something that we can look forward to in 2025. I wish I could think of off the top of my head when Unplugged was actually, when the event was. Could you check? I want to say October 95.
Okay.
But it's pretty funny how I don't even know that. I feel like I should. But
let's find out.
Kiss Unplugged.
August 9th, 95.
August 9th. Okay, so maybe this August we'll see something from Bruce in this little tribute.
I'll be looking forward to that.
Very cool. Again, no other news on that, but I did want to mention it because it was just cool to hear. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure if we're ever going to see any more soundboards.
I know, it's kind of just stopped.
We've
how long has it been now?
Oh, it's been over a year.
I was going to say, it feels like a year and a half.
It's been well over a year, and I think when it comes to soundboards, and maybe even the box sets, I think that was just a one-time, two-time, or in case of the soundboards, a five-time thing. You know what I mean? It was like an initial run of 5 or whatever it was, and that's it. I think for us fans too, and I hope I eat my words. I hope that this year I start my episode going off, saying we're going to be reviewing the new off the soundboard.
Right.
But I just, at this point, I don't see it happening because there has been such a big gap in soundboards. I don't know.
I feel like they could come back eventually, but they're just focused on other things right now. Well, I think would be cool because these all came out like pretty rapid succession. Like there was like
the soundboards,
so it was like a few months in between. It felt like, at least as soon as one was released, a couple months later there was an announcement for the next one. So, and there was a nice set of 5. They all look the same. They all have the same packaging, love it or hate it. But I think it'd be cool if, they do give it some time and space and then do another quick run of them like that. Like another 5 with new packaging that all looks the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I would love that. I just think that...
But I don't think we need to hold our breath for it.
No, and with the gap that's been in between, it just... I don't know. I hate to say this, and again, I hope I eat my words, but it seems like the more us fans keep talking about, when's the next soundboard, when's the next box set, it's going to be the same conversation as Kissology Volume 4.
Yeah.
Where, you still have people in 2025 who think that it's coming out. And, it's almost done. It's been almost done for, gee golly whiz, 15 years.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. So I think the soundboard run was an initial run of 5 or 6. It got cut to 5. Mm-hmm. The box sets may have been Gene Paul's last-ditch effort to, while they're still in control of, the projects and the Kiss name for now, just put out, go through their stuff and because they were already going through and, digging stuff up. So they put together some really great box sets. I think that was all she wrote. I think unless Pop House does something, it'll be completely, or Universal, I guess, since they own the music, it'll be something completely new, something completely different. I don't know. Again,
we'll
I hope that there's one for Alive. After the first album came out and there wasn't a 50th for the first album.
That's fair.
That was the key indicator that I was like, okay, there's not going to be
That's fair.
Another box set. And then Hotter Than Hell, 50th, and you can't get that back.
Right, we're passing all of those big landmarks.
If they next month did the 5th anniversary, it's like, no, it's 51 now.
Yeah.
You're off by a year, and while there will be some fans who get it and it will still be cool, it's not going to feel right. It's not going to be the same. The moment has passed. You can't get that back.
Yeah.
Now you got to wait till 100. You know what I mean? Which sucks, because we're not even going to be around to see that.
Most of us won't even be here.
Yeah. So I feel like, they could do Kiss Alive 50th, which... If they did, it would make sense because Kiss Alive was probably the album that Kiss has sold the most of.
Yeah, that would be big.
It's unofficially sold almost 10 million copies. If it was to get recertified, that would be Kiss's one and only diamond-selling album.
Dang. And
that for Kiss, a band like Kiss, is pretty friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
And I wish that is something that they would pursue. I wish Universal, Kiss, Pop House, whoever, would pursue at least some level of recertifications for a handful of the catalog because... I think, there's no reason to at the end of the day because there's just more awards on their walls. But it would be nice to see how much these figures are at, and I think Kiss Alive would be the first to pass the 10 million mark.
Definitely,
having that on year 50, it makes sense, and having a box set celebrate that with the music, the 4 soundboards for the 4 or 5 whatever it was shows, all the images they could put. I mean, it just sells itself. It puts itself together and it sells itself.
That would be so cool.
And the fact that they're not doing more things like this is wild to me. 2024, we really didn't see hardly anything as far as big projects. We got our standard, steady, consistent Kiss Online merch releases for anniversaries. And then we got some sporadic rando merch, like the Dynasty Cups and the Destroy Your Beer or whatever. But we haven't had anything big like the soundboards and the box sets or anything like that. And so I don't think we're going to see it.
No offense, but most of the anniversary stuff has been kind of lackluster.
Kind of very hit or miss at this point. Very, very hit or miss, which is good for the wallet. A lot of it
has been very take it or leave it. Like, man.
Yeah. So it just makes you wonder, like, what else, what will we actually see, music-wise in 2025? I can even think back to, I'm pretty sure Doc even mentioned at some point that there was going to be possibly a Kiss Cruise in 2025, just without the band. And it would be more about just the fans getting together and celebrating the band and the history. And I wonder if that's going to happen.
Yeah,
and if there would be
it needs to be announced pretty soon.
It would be announced very, very soon.
Month or two.
If it's going to be a Halloween thing. Yeah. But again, that could be scrapped at anything. That could have been scrapped the next day.
Right.
Who knows?
That's why sometimes I wish they wouldn't say things unless they were actually, for sure happening. Even Doc does that. I know it's to keep people interested and excited, but, then you hold on to this idea of something that's going to happen and it never gets mentioned again.
They could be officially happening at that time.
Yeah.
And things still fall through,
but still, unless it's too early.
It's too early. Yeah. Wait for the announcement to I totally get
Surprise
that.
people with it.
I totally
don't
get
tease
that.
us.
No, I get that. I totally get that. But it makes me wonder how much of an interest there will be in that, because obviously the thing is that Kiss performs rare songs that they don't usually perform.
Yeah.
They usually wear, some kind of
casual.
Yeah, they usually wear some kind of different, unique outfit. There's a theme. Yeah. There's a whole thing to it. So I'm sure there'll still be a theme in all this and that, but it makes me wonder, how many fans would be interested in going to the Kiss cruise, but with no Kiss. You know what I mean? Doc even said that, it would work because Kiss ends up being background music anyway. He said that it's mostly about just everybody getting together, and then we end up being the background music. So it's like, well, if we're gone and Kiss isn't there, the show can still go on, the party still can go on, and people can still, have fun because it's more about them getting together anyway.
I do think, it ultimately ends up being more about that, but the draw that gets people on the boat to begin with
is Kiss. Is Kiss, right, yeah.
But, I understand where he's coming from in other ways, because there are plenty of themed cruises out there that are themed to artists that are not there. That's not, a thing, that exists.
It exists because I think,
Yeah, there are themed cruises for, boy bands and things like that people go on. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be there.
No, they're just expos on the sea.
But, yeah, exactly. But since they've set that precedent of what the Kiss Cruise can be after all these years, to have another one without that element kind of feels like a step down.
See, I wonder if they would get, the Bruce Kulick band at that point. If Gene and Paul, Eric and Tommy... They would
probably get some cool other bands to fill in that are Kiss adjacent.
Kiss or guys in Kiss.
Right.
I mean, the Eric Singer Project or something like that, whatever it is. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they even package that, because maybe a Kiss tribute band. I don't know. It just makes me wonder how well that would do, because even though you're all right, I guess they could just make it a Kiss Expo on the sea. Yeah. That's all it would need to be.
Yeah.
A Kiss convention that could have some kind of theater showing a documentary of something.
It would still be fun.
They could literally do anything.
My thing is
the cost.
Yes. If Kiss is not going to be there, it better be way freaking cheaper. Because we looked. We tried. We have never been able to go just because of how expensive it is.
We're not those people, and that's okay.
Well, and we could be. We could be the kind of people... Listen, we could be the kind of people... no offense, I feel like a lot of people that go put themselves in debt for it. We're not going to do that.
No.
I know there's ways that we could pull it off, but it would hurt us financially, and we're not about to...
No, we're not.
We've never been about to do that.
We're not stupid.
But, if there was a Kiss Expo at sea with the Bruce Kulick band and, a bunch of other Kiss fans that we love. No. I'm saying if it were more affordable.
Absolutely.
And we know that, some of our fellow Kiss fans are going to be there, it does sound kind of fun.
But honestly, I'd rather just have there be an expo in the land.
I agree, but that's not happening either.
No, but it would be cool to join the Kiss Navy, because we never were able to go on the Kiss cruises. Yeah. There were 11 of them or something like that, and each year it was all right, this is our year.
Well, and a lot of them we were we would not have been able to go to anyway, because we were too young and not independent enough yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just
now getting married.
Yeah, just now getting to adulthood and having your own money, but not enough money to do something like that.
No. We never did the meet and greets. We never did the Kiss cruises. Yeah. But we did as best as we could.
We
saw shows. And we went to expos.
We at least did sound check.
We did do sound check. That was incredible. It's been great. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
So whether or not it happens, I don't know. It'd just be interesting to see the Kiss Cruise 2025 if it happens, and what that would look like.
Yeah.
Let me know if you guys would go, if you'd be interested in that, especially you Kiss cruisers who are used to the real deal.
Yeah. Would you still, having gone with the band there, would you still go without them? That's what I'm curious about.
Absolutely. And I'm enjoying talking about all this Kiss news. We're just speculating and talking about what might be on the horizon or what could be coming out this year. Notice how I did not talk about the Shout Out Loud biopic or the End of the Road documentary.
Right.
That's because I have no idea when or if at this point.
There's no point talking about it until we know.
At this point, I would say the End of the Road documentary is more than likely to come out before the Shout Out Loud biopic. But even the biopic, I don't see it even be coming out in 2025 because
I'm not holding my breath for it.
No, because it keeps getting thrown from director to director. It keeps getting rewrites, and then it just changed studios. So who knows whether the biopic will happen? I don't know.
Yeah, until it's filming and done filming, I'm not gonna even be waiting for it at all.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about the biopic at all anymore.
If it happens, awesome. But I'm not gonna wait for it.
If it happens, cool, great. But yeah, most fans I think have even kind of dismissed it, and they're not even interested at all.
Yeah.
What I'm still wanting to see is this alleged 5-part documentary on the End of the Road tour.
Yeah.
And why it hasn't come out yet, I don't know. Because I feel like the farther and farther away we get... you would think that the farther away we get, the more time has passed, the more historic it now is. But it's like, no, I want this now.
No, and people are going to lose interest, honestly.
They're going to lose interest.
Because it's not like it's just a kiss. It's specifically end of the road. And like you said, the
farther
further we get away from that, the less people are going to care.
Yeah.
And we're already over a year past the last day.
And that's just one more thing they keep talking about and keep teasing, where, Paul's talking about, Aaron being in the 5-part documentary and how blessed he is. And
also, why is it 5 parts?
I don't know. See, in my mind, let's go. Part 1 would be the preparation of the tour.
Are we talking
and getting the tour
about
together?
like docuseries style, like 5 40-minute episodes?
We
or
have
something?
no idea, but I'm gonna assume so.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume so, and I'm assuming. Let's just make it up. Part 1 could be getting the tour together, the end of the road tour, creating
planning
it, and starting it.
Yeah.
And then the second part would be actually getting going, and then COVID hitting.
Oh yeah.
And then part 3 would be resuming, or battling through COVID, doing 2020 goodbye and starting up shows.
Right.
Part 4 is them actually coming back.
Yeah.
And getting prepared for the final 50, whereas the last part is final 50 in the last 2 shows, and just rounds it out. I mean, they could easily make a 5-part documentary.
I think the last one alone could be the New York shows.
Yeah. Very well could be.
I think that not even just it could be Final 50 in one episode. And
the whole takeover.
Yeah,
it'd be the whole
York.
Takeover.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I want to see it because we saw cameras rolling 24/7.
Yes.
And it's like, again, I don't know.
That footage exists.
I don't know how this stuff works, but it never ceases to amaze me how things like that don't get done. Like these movies and these documentaries. Like, if I wanted to, I could get a camera and go shoot my own documentary right now.
Yeah.
And edit it myself. And produce it myself. And now, would it be at the level of A&E? No, it wouldn't. But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, why is it that these corporations... It must just be paperwork and politics and BS and funds and some more BS. Because it just never ceases to amaze me how projects like the Shout Out Loud biopic... just keeps getting delayed, and pushed back. And it's like, at this 5-part documentary that Gene and Paul are supposedly in the, viewing room watching footage every single day. And yet here we are, over a year later talking about it. I don't know. Again, I didn't want to mention it, but I am mentioning it to talk about. Don't look forward to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm mentioning it because it is not, at this point, that's not even on the horizon.
Right.
The end of the road documentary will come when it comes. But let's get to the biggest news of the day. Okay. You know what documentary is coming out this year?
What?
An Eric Carr documentary.
What?
This has been officially confirmed and announced by Loretta Carr,
I feel like,
the sister of Eric Carr.
I feel like maybe I saw something about this. Okay.
See, and here's the crazy thing, because she asked on the Eric Carr page, hey, Eric Carr fans, what kind of projects would you like to see?
I did see that.
From the Eric Carr camp. And a lot of folks, myself included, was like, oh man, how about a coffee table book? How about this huge, massive book with all these photos and, all these great, articles or just, stories and just personal photos of Eric's and then photos of Eric and just as many photos as possible. And Loretta came back and said, well, that's a cool idea.
Let me do you one better.
But how about a documentary?
Yeah.
And so apparently at some point this year, it's going to be called Enter the Fox.
Aww.
And it's going to be a documentary about Eric Carr that's going to include never-before-seen personal footage of Eric Carr. The teaser said that it was even going to include Christmas 1968 at the Caravello household.
Oh, that's so cool.
You're going to get stuff from before Kiss of Eric. There's going to be plenty of stuff with Kiss.
That's so
from
exciting.
Eric, but this is going to be an Eric Carr documentary.
I feel like Eric was. I mean, we've seen. There is a documentary.
Yeah, it's over there,
isn't
it?
Right.
It's got to be over somewhere. What's the third thing right there? That's the Halloween special. Never mind. Let's see. Keep going. There's got to be an Eric Carr something over there. Is it by Las Vegas? Kiss Immortals, Las Vegas, boom.
One, yes. Come here.
Yeah, it's tightly packed in there. I got a lot of stuff.
Okay, yes. So this does exist. The official Eric Carr DVD. Inside the Tale of the Fox, the Eric Carr story. Wow.
Yeah, what year was that?
This was...
Because that was pretty cool.
2000.
2000? Is that the one that we watched where his girlfriend was in it?
I think so, yeah.
That was really sweet.
And I feel like we know from this that he was the kind of person that was always filming and taking pictures.
Always filming, always being filmed.
So I guarantee, even though we do have this, it's 96 minutes long, which is awesome. I feel like there's probably so much more.
Yeah, that's probably just like
scratching the surface
level stuff.
And it's if I remember correctly, I think it is mostly Kiss centric, and I'm sure the other one will have a lot of Kiss in it too. But I would love to see all that other stuff. I would love to see the pre-Kiss stuff.
Yeah, for real. This is being put together by the Eric Carr family.
That's so awesome.
So this is something that is going to be a labor of love and is going to be do actual justice.
He was just such a character and such a good guy.
He was so good on camera.
Yes, he loved the camera.
He loved the camera. He was always
so fun, so goofy.
Always, and so I cannot wait. Now, I have no idea when it's going to come out because we've been so blessed these last couple years with the Record Store Day releases. Mm-hmm. We had Unfinished Business last year, and then before that it was Rockology.
Yeah, they've been busy.
And both of those included never before released tracks on both of those. So it's like there's always new stuff coming out. How much is there left? I don't know. But the fact that we have enough for a full documentary in 2025,
that's very exciting.
This is what I wanted. Because last year I was like, where do we go from here? There's no third Eric Carr album. You know what I mean? So again, I don't know if it'll be released around Record Store Day. It could be way later in the year, but it's according to Loretta Carr, it is happening.
Yeah.
And it should also be available on Blu-ray and DVD.
Good.
Something physical media that you can buy, and you can take home.
Yes.
So I'm assuming this will be available through purchase from the Eric Carr website.
I would imagine.
Maybe there'll be some other party involved that will help with distribution. I don't know. But this is all I have for now. You can go check Eric Carr's official Facebook page, which is run by Loretta, and check it out for yourself. I think it's probably a few posts down at this point. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be an Eric Carr documentary. And I think Joey Quesada even told us this last year when I had him on for when he Tom and Zeus were on talking about Raise Your Glasses. Uh-huh. Either it was that episode or one of the ones before that. It may have been the one for the Record Store Day.
Yeah, because Joey helped with that album, didn't he?
Yes, you're right. He announced that he was playing all of the Elder on the episode with the guys from Shout Out Outcast. But, you're right. Absolutely. So, yes, the one with the Record Store Day Unfinished Business, he was talking about how Loretta was working on a documentary. So this documentary has been in the works for over a year. And
that tells me we probably will get it sometime this year, whether it's later in the year or not. But that's very exciting. I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, that I think is the thing that I'm looking forward to the most in 2025 because that's something that I think I can rely on.
Yeah.
Again, what we hear from Gene covers album, probably not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Having all four members of Kiss on it, probably not. Bruce's book will happen at some point. Okay, great, fine. But this.
Yeah.
The Eric Carr documentary.
Well, and the fact that they've been so consistent with releasing stuff yearly lately makes me think it's going to happen.
And maybe it's also trying to see if I can get Loretta and get in contact with her.
That would be so cool.
And talk about that with her. That would be amazing. Let's try to manifest that in 2025.
Absolutely.
This documentary comes out. I want to see if I can get Loretta on to talk about her brother and just his incredible.
That'd be so cool.
His music and just his legacy and how much. Even though Eric and I never existed at the same time, how he's impacted my life in such a big way. Yeah. That's the kind of person I want to be. I look at Eric Carr. That's the kind of person I want to be.
I love Eric Carr.
I love Eric Carr. But that's all the news I have for this. I mean, I feel like there probably is some more stuff. So if I did miss some news, I think Jimmy Fallon and some girl, Hannah, forget her last name, did a cover of "I Was Made for Loving You" on Jimmy Fallon's show.
Okay.
That just happened like last night, I think.
Interesting.
So that's very
just randomly.
There was Jimmy
like a
Fallon,
parody version.
Jimmy's always doing sing-along skits and things.
Yeah.
And so it was just one of the songs that came up.
Okay.
And I forget what the girl's name is. Hannah something.
Okay.
Hannah, really weird last name, but.
Oh, was it one of those things he does where you have to sing? It's like a game, and you have to sing one song, like doing an impression of somebody else. Is it one of those?
I don't know. I only read about it. I haven't watched it.
Okay,
I
we'll have to check that out. That's funny.
I just read that before we started filming. That's why I'm saying it now, and as opposed to oh, by the way,
right?
I'm like, oh, whoa, this just kind of came.
Apparently, this happened.
Yeah, this happened. I think last night or whatever. So yeah, there's always things happening, and like I said, if I miss something, let me know in the comments.
Yeah, for sure.
Some other news, because I guarantee I did miss something, but these are just the things that I wanted to get to because. If you thought 2025 was going to be a dead year, you're wrong. There's already lots of things happening, lots of things planned. So we'll see as the year goes on. It's only the first week of the month. So we will leave the news there. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I want to get to one of my favorite parts of the show, which is the Collector's Corner.
Yes.
This is the first one of the year, so I'm ready to kick it up a notch. I'm ready to start off the year in a big way. I ended the last year on a mild note. The last thing I showed last year was that unofficial Chinese little pinball toy thing it was, which was really cool. But no, I think I'm ready to start off 2025 in a very big way.
Oh no.
So are you ready for this?
Not really, but bring it on.
So, oh boy, here we go. Okay, let me get it out of here.
You haven't even opened it yet at all?
Huh?
You haven't opened it yet at all?
I showed Jeb when Jeb came down. I talked about it real quietly so you couldn't hear us.
Okay.
Because I wanted to show you on camera.
So you've had this for a minute.
Yeah, I had it for a minute. So this is a promo copy of Monster from Eric Singer's personal collection.
What?
This is Eric Singer's personal copy of Monster. Autographed. How crazy is that? So there is a little bit of a story to this.
How did you get this?
So it's not as crazy as you think. I went over to his house, I knocked on his door, and I told him that Monster was my favorite Kiss album ever, and he threw that out there and said, here.
There you go,
and I caught it before it hit the ground so it didn't break. No, just kidding. So KissHaven.com is a website that you can go to buy all kinds of Kiss. If you're sick of eBay and going to like Kiss Online, you're sick of the usual, go to KissHaven.com. I believe Keith LaRoe either runs it or has a hand in running it. Or, I don't know. It's being run by people who are very close with the members of Kiss. And so whenever Paul, Ace, Eric Singer have items to sell, they get with them and they sell them. And so they had Eric Singer got with him recently and wanted to sell off some items in his personal collection. Mostly just drumsticks that he had and a couple promo CDs. And this was one of them.
Look at that.
And when I saw Eric Singer's personal copy of Monster autographed promo copy, I said, there's nobody else that's getting that but me.
It even has like this sticker on it that says this CD is the property of the record company and is licensed to the intended recipient for personal use only. Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I wish it came with some sort of certificate of authenticity. Like, I wish Eric would have just typed something up saying, this is Eric Singer, this is mine, print, and then signs a piece of paper. But I know where it came from.
Yeah.
I know it's his autograph. It even has the sticker.
Yeah.
And then on the back, you can see where the barcode has been punched out.
Yeah. Because it's not for resale.
It's a clean hole punch on the barcode, so it can't be scanned. So, yeah, even though somebody could try to refute me on this, I know what this is.
Yeah.
I know I have it. And I am so proud.
That is very cool.
I'm so proud to have this. This is my favorite Kiss album at this point. I think Monster is my favorite Kiss album.
Finally admitted it.
Yeah, she always knew, apparently.
Yeah, he mentioned that a couple days ago. I'm like, I know. And he's like, but I always say it's Revenge. I'm like, yeah, but I've always known it's Monster.
Yeah, well, I said Revenge, but like I think in the last couple years, I'd finally just, realized that Monster is truly my favorite Kiss album.
That's okay. It's awesome.
It has some amazing tracks. And so to have my favorite drummer, his promo copy, his personal copy of my favorite album by my favorite band is really cool. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this, where like framing it goes, because we all know how jewel cases are.
Yeah, very fragile.
If I drop this once we hit stop, I mean the case could get broken.
And the case is an important part of this one because it actually has that sticker.
I don't know why I thought this was sealed. This is not sealed at all. I can open this.
Well, yeah, it has to be open because he signed the inside of the...
Oh, I'm stupid, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I might just go jam Eric Singer's copy of Monster.
Maybe once, but then you should put it somewhere safe.
This is dope, dude. I don't know, man. This is so awesome. Made in the USA, baby.
That is very cool.
2012. Produced by Paul Stanley. Golly, that is so cool. So, yeah, that's how I'm kicking off 2025 with the Collector's Corner. Actually, there is this over here. But I think we all know what this is. This is just more wrapping paper. I don't know what's wrong with me.
We used some of the wrapping paper, so he had to immediately replace it.
So I bought 3 rolls this season.
Yeah.
That's $90 on just $30 a roll. That's stupid.
That's crazy. I think you can stop for a while now.
Yeah, well, the reason why is because we used the whole roll just this year.
Yeah.
And then we opened up the other roll.
Yeah, we barely used the next one, though.
Did I open up?
Yeah, we opened up the second one.
We did open up a second one, didn't we?
I had to.
For sure. And we threw one away, and there's one sealed, and there's one sealed right here. Okay, for sure.
I'm going to add it to the collection over here.
Add it to that collection, yeah. So, basically, you can get 1 year's worth of Christmas gifts from one roll of Kiss wrapping paper. It's not very much in there. I think it's like 20 square foot.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Which is not a lot at all.
Especially when you give out as many Kissmas presents as we did this year.
Luckily, they were all like kind of small. There were nothing like, no big items. Like, you probably couldn't wrap anything big. The cool thing is, though, is that it's very quality paper.
It is very nice, very
it's
thick
quality,
paper.
Stiff paper paper sometimes when you wrap a present. If it's even the most slightly odd shaped package, it can poke through the paper because the paper's so
flimsy
cheap,
and rips.
flimsy paper, and you're like, oh crap, and you gotta tape it up and it looks jank. This paper, you can't even unwrap the gift. It's once it's in there, man, it's in there.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
You gotta Hulk it out, and it's really good paper, but the downside is that there's not very much of it in a roll. Yeah. But that's okay. I've got 3 rolls, so I'm good until at least 2026.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to the next segment, which is Kiss Merch of the Year. Which, I know, right? Isn't that crazy? I thought we were done too. So
I
obviously,
guess this would be the last one because it is currently 2020. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, so in the last episode, I did a whole shebang because it was a 2024, episode 124. And so I did the whole
this
episode
is the last one we can do.
Talking about only things I bought in 2024 that came out in 2024.
Right.
And made a whole thing about it, thinking, there's not going to be anything in 2025 out by the time we record episode 125. I was proven wrong. So, day 1 of the new year saw these shirts go on sale. These are just youth, this is a youth large t-shirt that you can find at Target. I posted about this on the Facebook page and the Instagram. But so these literally hit shelves on day 1 of the new year. So, here you go.
It's cute. I like it.
It says purple, but it's really a lavender. It's more of a lighter purple.
Light purple.
You know what? It's actually more spring, Easter colors.
Yes, it is. Very pastels.
It's a nice, softer purple. So,
cute.
So you can find this in the girl section at Target. I think it should have been, it looks more like it should have been sold around March or April when it's spring. But here it is in the winter time.
They put things out months in advance.
So. Oh yeah. And there's other shirts too. There were like Tupac and the Beatles. You saw the Beatles shirt. Yeah. So there's there's always going to be all kinds of cool band shirts and artist shirts. But even though it is a kids shirt, it does right there say 2025 Kiss catalog under license to Epic Rights. So. Yeah, here it is.
Merch.
The very first piece of Kiss merch in 2025. Perhaps I'll give this as a gift to somebody we know, one of our younger Kiss fan friends, maybe our younger cousin or something like that at some point. But for now, it's mine because it is the first item in 2025. So how crazy is that? We're doing that is officially going to be, the last. There's nothing in 2026 coming out next week. So that I thought it was crazy though because I thought we were done with it, and here comes Kiss Merch of the Year.
I love it.
Back for one more.
That's great.
You can't go wrong there. But no, the thing we're doing at the end of the episodes now is the Kiss calendar.
Oh yes.
And so I have the calendar behind me now.
I love it.
Which was the last item to be released in 2024, or one of the last items to be released in 2024. And so I thought, how cool would it be to just throughout the year follow along with all the anniversaries that we have coming up, any important dates, any important events, band member birthdays, whatever it is. And so today, it's funny because we actually have an amendment to make, a change.
Okay.
Because obviously you and I were supposed to go see Kiss Army, the tribute band, in Ohio last week.
Yeah.
And the show was canceled, or at least postponed. It wasn't canceled, it was postponed. So the new date is January 17th.
Yeah.
That is when Kiss Army is going to be playing live. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this down on the Kiss calendar. All right, so Kiss Army, we'll be seeing them live on the 7th. That's in 1 week. That's 1 week from today.
I'm excited.
We will be, seeing them. We'll be heading out on a road trip to go to Ohio to see Kiss Tribute Band. That's really exciting. We saw one last year. And I want to see if we can see at least 2 this year. We'll see how that pans out. But anyway, there is one more date I want to go ahead and mark down because we're not going to see another episode until this. So on the 20th is Paul Stanley's birthday.
That's right.
And he will be turning 73. All right, cool. There you go. And I'm using my Kiss pen to write these down in. I've been following along with my Kiss journal. So I don't really care what happens in 2025. I'm having fun right now. So as far as
plenty to do.
Whatever Kiss does, whatever they release, whatever doesn't get released, is fine with me because I'm cool having fun with what we're doing right now. All right, I'm pretty sure that is going to wrap it up today for today's episode. I know we had a lot to talk about, but it's been a lot of fun. So Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the very first episode of the new year. This has been awesome. What do you think?
It has.
I mean, we got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, way more than I thought. Very excited.
We got Gene and Ace on tour, Ace recording a new album, Bruce writing his book, and, of course, Eric Carr's documentary coming out.
I'm also just going to throw it out there that I'm manifesting some Paul Stanley music in 2025. Please. Whether it's Soul Station or full solo, I don't care.
Yeah, I didn't have any Paul news
literally
today.
anything. I know. There's
nothing.
nothing.
There's nothing really. At least he's doing his own thing.
I mean, he's done some like interviews and cool videos here and there, but and podcasts and things like that. But I need Paul Stanley music.
If there's any news that happens, you guys know where to find it. We'll be right back here talking about all the news. Yeah. So throughout 2025, whatever happens, we're going to be right here talking about it. If there's no news, we're still going to be right here talking about Kiss.
Yeah.
So if you're still watching at the end of this episode, I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys. And I also want to say a special shout out to all the Patreon subscribers.
Of course.
We already have bonus content going up over on the Patreon, so you can join us there and have more fun. But thank you to those who are already supporting us over there. We really do appreciate it. Anyway, follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. That's where we will be posting any fun stuff that we have coming up, any projects, and also any news and any updates, and just keeping the fun going. That's all we're doing, is just keeping the Kiss fun going. We're kicking it off the new year with a really cool episode talking about all the new Kiss news. So who knows what we'll be doing next time. You'll have to wait and see. But I really appreciate you being here today, and so I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys. Hopefully you guys are staying safe, staying warm. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next episode. So thank you guys. My name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
Peace out. Rock on.